Doing great. We're excited about having you on the show, and we're excited about telling your fans about your big thing coming up. So, fans, this Sunday on pay-per-view, it's going to be for that undisputed world champion. Ginny Hogan is going to be defending against Charlotte Flair. We are so excited about this big pay-per-view match, seeing Ginny Hogan defending her world championship. Ginny, thank you for joining us. I was joking because your last name's the same name as.
I just wanted to just roll with it.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, I was waiting for you to go, wait a second, I don't wrestle. But yeah, with a last name like that, of course, we all think of Hulk Hogan. So she.
So many unexpected talk shows that I am I had to do a talk show one time that was like Dungeons and Dragons, which I've never played, but it was also this Scottish group, and I didn't think anything of agreeing to do improv with a bunch of Scottish people, but their accents were so strong that I like genuinely couldn't understand a word they said. So I don't really know it. And people do often think that I'm related to Hulk.
Awesome. Yeah, shoot. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I gotta at least river a little bit, see what she says, because I was gonna say comedians love doing that to other folks. So but yeah, no. Yeah. Cool. But we are excited. Our guest today is New York's own comedian and author, Ginny Hogan. Ginny, we are excited about having you on. We're here to discuss her first stand-up special, Regression. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about her. Hopefully, we'll get her to talk a little bit about her upcoming Audible project, The Great Indoors, and her new romantic comedy. So, all kinds of great stuff to discuss with our listeners. Yeah, I was gonna say, shoot, it seems like you're dabbling into all the major fields. You've got so much stuff going on. I mean, gosh, do you still have time to tour while you're doing all this other stuff?
Touring a little bit in the next couple months. The nice thing is that there's always such a long lag between kind of create, not like a super long lag, but there's always a bit of downtime between when you create something and when it comes out. So I have a lot of stuff coming out right now, but it's stuff that I made a long time ago. So I have had like a little bit of free time in the last few months. So I've been able to work out some new stand up, which is cool. I'm doing it in New York. And I'm hoping to take it on the road soon.
That is awesome. So, of your detours, Silicon Valley, childhood bedroom, AA meetings, doctor's offices, other places, which were the high points?
Well, my childhood bedroom is a lot bigger than my current bedroom, so I guess that was something of a high point. I think that AA meetings were probably the most productive thing that I did in my 20s. I can't really call them a high point. They could be like a little bit of a downer, but yeah, my 20s were just a constant mix of highs and lows, for sure.
Definitely. Your stand-up special Regression covers giving up and growing up. In what ways have your experiences helped you to grow up?
I think I feel like a big part of growing up is just expecting that you're not like learning that you're not going to get everything you want. So I spent a lot of time thinking I had a drinking problem, and I spent a lot of time trying to find ways that I could keep drinking and also not have other parts of my life fall apart and sort of have it all. And I spent years in that place of really trying to keep it. And I think it was a big moment of growth when I actually gave up on that and decided that I could not find a way to keep drinking in my life. And in many ways, like that was it's such a relief to give up. Like I think that we associate giving up with failure, but a lot of the times, like giving up is the best thing you can do to just admit something isn't working. So I think that that's where a lot of the growth came from.
That is an awesome perspective because, yeah, you're right. When I was reading the notes about it and I saw giving up, I was like, oh, that's not good. Well, shoot, we don't want her to get. But you're right. You're saying giving up the bad habits and getting those out of your life. Sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. That's on like a bad relationship or a bad job, and it feels like there's this like idea that we need to always out. And I don't think that that's true. I think that it could be really great to just say something's not working and totally leave it behind.
So before doing all this, I understand you were out in Silicon Valley. You were a data gatherer. Is that correct?
Data scientist, yeah. So most of it was gathering data.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
do you ever enjoy looking at the results or tracking? Obviously, it ain't out yet, but when your special comes out and seeing all the clicks and likes and being able to do some type of chart based on that.
It's such an interesting question because the answer is no, not at all. I think I left data science and never wanted to look at the data again. I think for me, a big thing is also just like I have to constantly remind myself that a lot of what goes viral on Instagram is random and what kind of gets picked up is random. So that I don't have to beat myself up if something isn't getting the clicks or views. One thing I do kind of keep track of, not really in like a formal way, but when I tell jokes live, I like to keep track of which jokes work and which jokes don't work and which jokes work with certain kind of audiences. But I don't as much keep track of like the online data about it. Although I think that people who do probably like benefit from doing it.
That is pretty cool. I was going to say, yeah, being able to track like you said, track the results of the live performances and yeah, seeing what works, and that way you can modify your show to that particular audience. Because I can imagine you have probably performed in a wide variety of venues throughout the country.
Yeah, the audience, they don't like something, and I'm like, you guys were wrong. Okay, I'm gonna keep it in the set anyway.
So, where can fans watch Regression?
On Apple TV, Amazon, on Tubi and Pluto. It's on a bunch of different streaming networks. And you can also see clips of it on my Instagram at Ginny Hogan _.
That's awesome. So it sounds like there's a lot of great places to check that out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when they're on Amazon and they're buying your book, then they can sign up and get the free shipping and get to watch your special.
Audible booking it through Amazon. I mean, Amazon, I think everything is on Amazon these days. So yeah, please sign into Amazon and make yourself at home with my content. There's a lot of it on there.
So why are you more dateable than a plate of refried beans?
Yeah, well, you have to read the book to find out. But I once conducted a study about if a Tinder used to, I haven't used Tinder in ages, but they used to have something called like smart photos where based on how people swipe, they would put the best photo of you at the front of your profile. And I once just ran like a kind of joke study comparing myself to a plate of refried beans. And it did work better. So that was like, my love life was not going well at the time, so I needed that kind of a boost. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to learn that. And once I had that great piece of information, I had to spread it widely.
Nice. So it was scientific in nature. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was data behind it, and Tinder gave us the information to figure that out. Otherwise, I might not have known.
Oh, that's cool. And then, do you prefer mustard or ketchup?
I prefer mustard. I'm not a ketchup fan at all. My favorite is mayonnaise, but after that is mustard. I would prefer plain to ketchup.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about Yes, We Mustard.
Yeah, so it's an Audible show that I made in 2021. I used to work in the tech industry, so this is based on my experience of tech startups that take themselves too seriously. So this woman works at a mustard company that pretends to saving the world, and then she uncovers some very dark stuff. And it's silly and it's lighthearted, but I think it also is kind of does speak to how tech companies be a little bit overboard on their sort of mission saving work. And it was really fun to write. I definitely pulled in a lot of my experiences from the tech industry. And I have a new Audible show coming out next week, actually, called The Great Indoors. It's tonally similar, but it's a totally different subject matter. It's about a woman training to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. And so, yeah, it's definitely like really fun to write stuff for them. I love to listen to audiobooks and podcasts, so it's a great medium to work with.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say I've heard nothing but great things about them, and yeah, I was reading a little bit of the description about the great indoors, and that sounds phenomenal as well.
Yeah, um, it's out next Thursday.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get my best friend to spill the beans, IMDb, but I checked there because that's where I always check when I hear someone's got a new something coming out. Um, the new romantic comedy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yes, that's work in progress. It's not on IMDb yet. It's I have a producer for it, and we're in the process of casting it. It's a romantic comedy that's two childhood lovers who haven't talked in many years, and they come back together for one weekend, sort of accidentally when they're both at a crossroads in their lives. And I think of it as a classic romantic comedy in the vein of like Nora Ephron, because those are the ones that I love the most. I think that we haven't had enough of them in recent years. All the ones we've had have been great, but yeah, I wanted to write the kind of genre that I love, and that's why I picked a rom-com.
Awesome. I was going to say, just throwing this out there, if you need an annoying neighbor or a nerdy sidekick, or that fella that you can tell pines for you, but doesn't is too big of a nerd, throwing it out there, I would be perfect for all of those roles.
Okay, I so that's really good to know. We already
Awesome.
know.
Let's see. And then, of course, the last thing we got to go over before we let you go, we got to know about the newsletter, Mutual.
Oh yeah, so that's a newsletter that I have on Substack. I love Substack. I feel like it's like the least toxic social media platform, and it's a really great platform. Students can kind of write whatever. So it's mixed with satire, which I read a lot of, and then personal essays and anything else that I think is funny. There's a lot of content. Most of it is free, so I think some of it you get more content if you pay for it. As is always the case. But yeah, it's where I put a lot of my writing that doesn't really fit any one pattern, so it's very eclectic.
That's pretty cool. I was going to say,
Sorry.
oh, no worries. I was going to say that's nice to hear that there is some social media platforms that aren't toxic out there, because most of them are just.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's better than a lot of them.
That is so cool. Which is funny because we just say how awful they are, but I'm going to ask you to promote them by saying which ones that you're on, so our listeners can follow you on them.
Yeah, I'm on all of them. I'm on Instagram and X, the website formerly known as Twitter, at Ginny Hogan underscore. That's GINNYHOGAN underscore. And then I'm on TikTok as Ginny Hogan. I'm also on Threads as Ginny Hogan underscore. I like Threads too. I don't know how many people are using it, but it's pretty fun.
Well, Jenny, it has been a pleasure having you on. We are excited about your first stand-up special, Regression. I look forward to watching that this weekend. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
So that was Ginny Hogan, not a professional wrestler. I was just joshing her with that because last name Hogan. Um, I was waiting to see a response, but yeah. But anyway, we had fun having her on the show. She sounds like a great stand-up comedian who's had a intense life, and we look forward to watching that special, Regression. And I mean, gosh, there's so many places to watch it: Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and there were a couple other ones she listed. So yeah, shoot. Thank you all for tuning in today.